welcome to Good Deeds, your Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you for joining us for this particular episode. We want to, first off, thank everyone, welcome everyone back after the holiday season. We are in a new year. That would be 2023. We want to thank all of the access centers throughout the county and beyond that run this particular program series. So happy new year to you all, and thank you. Joining me, as in programs past, is the Registrar of Deeds. That would be Bill O'Donnell. Bill, welcome. Happy New Year to you as well.
Great. Thanks, Mark, for having me. Again, thanks to you. Thanks to Quincy Access Television for helping put this together and all the access centers. So happy, healthy New Year to all of you. And here we go. We're in a new year, and you know, we come here with statistics from the last couple of years. You know, the Norfolk Registry of Deeds is located in Dedham, and that's where land documents, all land documents that pertain to the 28 communities in Norfolk County get recorded there. But even if you're not part of Norfolk County, you know, there are some trends in these statistics that people might find relevant to what's going on in their community.
Communities beyond Norfolk County will pick up the program.
No matter where your home's located, you know, there is information that helps the consumer, helps protect your home, and also just people are interested in statistics. So, you know, what I'm seeing in the statistics for 2022 as we move forward is that the real estate market is really slowing down, and it's slowing down because of inflation, and it's slowing down because of the ever increasing and rising interest rates. And the economic factors that are going on nationally are starting and impacting here locally and regionally. And one of the things is total documents recorded. When you look at Norfolk County, the total documents recorded, and that's everything. In 2021, for the whole year, it was 195,112 documents. In 2022, it was 130,000 documents, 51. That's a over 65,000 document decrease, which is a 33% decrease in total documents recorded. So you really see a sluggishness. There's a sluggishness in the economy, and it's reflected in the real estate economy, which is, you know, the center of that is the Registry of Deeds, where things get recorded.
Right, and the feds continually increase the
interest rate. And that we'll see in statistics. Part of the statistics I like to bring is, you know, and it's driven by the interest rates. The total deeds recorded. A deed is a transaction. When you buy a new construction, or whether you buy an old house or a currently existing house, a deed gets recorded to reflect that transaction. And in 2021, there was over 20,898 deeds for the whole year, but in 2022 there was 17,398. That's a decrease of 3,500 or 17%. So clearly the sales are going down. But the big thing is, when I say sales are going down, that's not just in Norfolk County. There's a group, the Warren Group, in November noted that it was an 8-year low as far as number of sales. Now, again, I recognize November and December might not be as high, but we're seeing it because the statistics I'm bringing are for the whole year. And that particular group noticed it was an 8-year low. So the sales were down, but interestingly, prices were still going up a little, which is something we can talk about. But the big component you hit on was the interest rates. The chairman, Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve, he increased interest rates recently, but he also said that the Federal Reserve is going to take the necessary steps to get inflation under control, even if it leads to a downturn in the economy. So, you know, is this the end of interest rates going up? Based on what the Federal Reserve Chairman recently stated in increasing the interest rates, it sounds like it's not. And how is that, you know, translated to what goes on at the Registry of Deeds? Well, one of the documents that was recorded at the registry are mortgages. A mortgage is a document. When we borrow money to buy a house, a mortgage gets recorded. When we borrow money to pay for our child's education, or maybe to renovate the house, or some other project. When we do refinancing, mortgages get recorded by the lenders to make sure they get paid back. Well, if you look at countywide in 2021, the mortgages were 46,430. In 2022, it was 23,265 mortgages for the entire year. That's a decrease of 23,165 mortgages, or a 50% decrease. And even the volume of what's being borrowed is less. And that makes sense. You know, if you're borrowing money at 2.5%, you might borrow a little bit more money. But when the interest rates are exceeding 7%, you're less inclined to borrow. And in Norfolk County, it went down 44%. So not only did the number of mortgages go down 50%, but what's getting borrowed is going down, because people, they need monies to put gas in the car, or deal with the effects of inflation. You know, we're getting groceries on the table.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of factors going on, and we can see it in the real estate economy. And a lot of people who are experts in the real estate economy are saying, hey, the real estate's down, commercial construction is down, consumers are...
But residential construction seems to be up.
Well, no, the prices are up, but the construction,
units themselves.
yeah, and some of that may be attributed to inventory concerns. There's supply chain issues. So prices did go up. I did find it awfully interesting that as far as the average sale price, and again, we only track commercial and residential as one. So, if commercial's vibrant, it might float it a little. But it was interesting. The average sale price, in 2022 broke 1.1 million in Norfolk County. And again, Norfolk County has some, there's some great commercial areas. There's some, probably higher end communities in Norfolk County. The average sale price 1.1 million, and that was up 10%. So even though sales are down, prices are still, creeping up. And I think some of that is the brokers tell us there's still limited inventory. I don't think there's a lot of new construction going on, and there's still demand. I think people want to live around Norfolk County, around the greater Boston real estate. So I think there's still a demand that sort of insulates this area from, say, other parts of the country right now. When the last bust, the real estate bust, was between 2007, 2009, there was a national number given that said there was a 28% decline in prices. That might happen in other areas of the country, but I think what keeps the prices kind of high, and even now, look at the economy's not doing well, and it creeped up 10%, is there's a housing shortage, and there's still demand to live here. And but I think prices are getting out of reach. There was the National Association of Realtors said first-time home buyers made up 26% of all buyers in 2022, but last year it was 34%. So clearly, the first-time home buyers are probably making the decision. The interest rates are too high. I'm trying to survive here. I'm trying to, go to work, and it's getting
rent for a little longer.
Yeah, and it's just getting harder and harder to buy a house for first-time home buyers. And the National Association of Realtors statistic shows that.
Right. That leads me to the unfortunate foreclosures.
Yes, and again, I urge people, no matter where you live here in Massachusetts, if you have an issue, or you know someone that's struggling with foreclosure or not making their mortgage, go to our website at www.norfolkdeeds.org, because we have links to social service agencies that will help you. There's NeighborWorks Housing Solutions, and there's Quincy Community Action Programs. And even though it says Quincy, they've committed to help people in the 28 communities in Norfolk County and beyond. They give counseling service. They help people, because a foreclosure process is actually a legal action. Someone has taken the time to file a notice to foreclose. And the registry only gets involved because by law, if you're getting foreclosed on, a notice to foreclose has to get recorded. And then the next time we have involvement is if there was a foreclosure deed gets recorded by the lender. But what we did back in that housing bust of '07 and '09, 2007, 2009, they didn't even track foreclosure deeds and notices. They were all lumped in. We used our technology at the registry and broke out the documents. And so these people could get help. We started tracking foreclosures so that these groups could start reaching out to individuals, and individuals should reach out to them. And there's also help from the Attorney General's office. Again, go to our website at www.norfolkdeeds.org. But the statistics, total foreclosure deeds, and again, that's at the end. In 2021, it was 52. In 2022, it was 68. So that's a number of 16 increase, 31%. So that's showing a trend. But the notices to foreclose, which is the big, the first part of the process. In 2021, it was 141. In 2022, it was 308. Wow. That's an increase of 167. So, I mean, that's a tremendous percentage increase. And you got to remember, some of the notices in 2021, they still might be struggling with that. It doesn't end. It sometimes takes over a year for the processes to go and for people to get foreclosed. So it does show people are struggling. If the economy is going the way people are saying, that potentially there could be not only a slowdown in the real estate, but there could be a recession. Some economists are predicting a recession in 2023 as we start the new year. Please, if you are struggling, get the help that you need. And there are these social service agencies, can give you not only, what I like is they give counseling as far as how to get your debt in control, or you're spending too much with credit cards, where you can save money. And they also have helped people transition if they are going to lose the home to real estate, to housing assistance, to how you're going to rent, to helping you with the legal issues. It's a legal process. Don't wait till the sheriff is out there, enforcing the lender's action, and they're doing an auction at your house. You don't want that.
And it makes me think of looking at 2022 and how there were bidding wars for property. Looking at 2023, 2024, 2025, if people bid off more than they could chew.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think the function of those bidding wars, prices still might have been high, but the interest rates were low. So, people, the difference between a mortgage of 2.5% and a mortgage of 7%, you could be adding $1,000 to $1,500 a month cost. And so there were bidding wars because, there was less inventory and there was a big demand and the economy was vibrant. And people wanted to live there. And there still could be some bidding wars now, but anecdotally, I haven't heard the brokers talking about. They said not only did they get like 6 or 7 bids, the 6 or 7 bids were over asking. So that I'm not sure we're going to see that moving forward. You still might see competitiveness because people want to live in the communities I know around Norfolk County. But it really is a function of supply, which there's less of, and demand. And right now the demand might be lessening. I gave that statistic of first-time home buyers. It's the interest rates are making it more and more unaffordable to buy property.
So certainly if you could put down a greater amount, you're better off.
Yes, but I mean, it's it's hard.
Pretty tough as well.
It's
absolutely. Let's talk about some community partnerships, and that will get me into something you've done every year. I don't know how many years that you've been involved, but this is the Toys for Tots program, and a successful year in 2022.
Yes, it was very successful, and we always appreciate. First of all, thanks to the United States Marines for their service, but we've partnered with the United States Marines in their Toys for Tots Christmas program 15 years, and this year we actually had 3 Marines in uniform come by, and it's great because. And again, thanks to all the people that donated. The registry building is centrally located at 649 High Street in Dedham, and a lot of activity there. You know, people going to, you know, the grand jury or to the jury in the jury pool, and there's courts around, and you know, so there were residents, there were the workers at the registry, and even with, you know, it was great to gather the toys, and the Toys for Tots program that the Marines done. I believe it was their 75th year that they've done it, and we're happy to be a drop-off center, and we're happy every year to partner up with the United States Marines. And again, thanks to you know, QATV for, you know, putting it out there on programs like this, as well as public service announcements that were done to encourage people to, remember those that are less fortunate than us.
And we should also mention the holiday food drive. That's something that you also do, and we want to thank all those who have donated for that as well.
Yes, certainly. Again, thanks to all the people that donated. We start that right around Thanksgiving, when we should be thinking of others. There's a lot to give thanks, and we run it through the seasonal holidays. And it went well. We appreciate the donations. And I always say, if you go to our website, www.norfolkdeeds.org, we actually, because of this partnership, we list all the food pantries, and now there's a couple of other ones. They'll call us up and say, hey, can we get listed on your website? So, remember, they need these items all year, so you can always go directly to the food pantry in your community, and certainly in Norfolk County. Some communities have one site, other communities have multi food pantry sites, but go to www.norfolkdeeds.org and get a list of those food pantries, because they need donations all year.
And I know here in Quincy, Interfaith Social Services, they have a thrift shop. So if you have something that they could sell in their thrift shop, that in turn turns into money for their food pantry.
Yes, there's a lot of donations, and as a matter of fact, I got another community outreach that we do, or a community partnership that has sort of a social motive to it, is we collect clothes and suits. We call it our Suits for Success program, but we collect, we have women pocketbooks, we have women clothing, we have men's clothing, and it ends up at places like Interfaith Social Services. Or we made a recent donation to Father Bill's in Mainspring. They were one of our first partners, and I got a tour of the project they're putting here in Quincy to deal with homelessness, and it was really incredible. But we have other, we take donations at 649 High Street at the registry. You can go directly to these places, but we have a partnership with them. Inner City Weightlifting, which is a group that through weightlifting, but they also try to get people jobs. Inner City Boston and Cambridge. Circle of Hope is another social service agency in Needham. And the Veterans Administration. We bring the items over to the Veterans Administration in Jamaica Plain for distribution. So, we've done that for years. That started back when I first started, 2002. We've been, collecting those clothes, and sometimes I'm dating myself. The plan room looks like Filene's Basement, which was a store that had all kinds of clothes, and we they come in and we try to move them out. And any group out there that needs clothing, reach out to me at Register O'Donnell at NorfolkDeeds.org, because we gladly get the clothes to you, whether you're in the 28 communities in Norfolk County or outside the communities in Norfolk County.
I know that I believe I'm going to be speaking correctly here. Upcoming projects, you are working on a veterans project?
Yes, we're trying to get back to normal. We love doing projects. We did a couple of notable land records projects for the 225th anniversary of the Norfolk Registry in Norfolk County. We did a renovation of the building that was built in 1903, the Norfolk Registry Deeds building, and we had a celebration of the renovation and restoration, and we did a notable land records book.
There were some important people visiting that day, by the way. at the rededication.
Yeah, a couple of characters. Yeah, historical. John Adams. He was very unhappy that Hamilton had a play and he didn't. But yes, it was good. A lot of pomp and circumstances. We had the singing trooper at one. We had the Norwood band, the Madrigals. So a lot of pomp and circumstance. But one of the projects we started pre-COVID was to do the same thing. To try to do a book, try to tie it to deeds if we could, but unfortunately some people lost their lives because they didn't have a chance to own a home. A veterans project where veterans around the 28 communities try to do a little story and about the various branches. My dad was a Navy veteran, my son Coast Guard, and so that's a working project. It started in 2019. Unfortunately with COVID, it was all hands on deck, and I got to thank the staff. We stayed open and operational every day through through the technology we had at the registry, through COVID. But now it's trying to get back to some semblance of let's dust off that project we started. So yes.
Would you say foot traffic to the registry is back up to numbers pre-COVID?
I would say what happened was, and some of it was just fortune. For instance, we passed legislation, the Plymouth Register, John Buckley and myself were very active in getting legislation passed that said that on the land court side of the Registry of Deeds, you didn't have to keep the original documents. That allowed us to do electronic recording. In Norfolk County, we had been doing electronic recording since 2009. On the recorded land side, there are two sides to the registry. Why do I bring that up? Well, that legislation allowed us to do electronic recording on the land court side. Only 10% on the land court side did it when we started. Then we have COVID. Changed everything. Well, luckily in Norfolk County, you can go look up our documents back to 1793 and our indexes. You can do everything online via our website. Now, post-COVID, although, who knows, on the land court side, it's up to like 70%. And on the recorded land side, it was probably 40%. It's up to like 85%. So more and more people are coming to the registry virtually. Notwithstanding, we still one of the few registries that print all the books. You can do it all the old-fashioned way. So the foot traffic is kind of down because people got used to this new way of doing things. And good thing, I didn't know there was going to be COVID when we did all this, get every document scanned and imaged, get this legislation through in 2017. So I think people approach the registries a little differently now. They use the advances in technology and go from there to send the documents in. But we still have a customer service center. You can come in. We still see people coming in, jurors and other people come in to get a copy of their deed, or they wanted to know if they have a homestead. Or you can call, at least in Norfolk County, that number directly, 781-461-6101.
I do just want to emphasize a point that you just made. Copy of your deed. It's easy to do. You can do it right at the registry, minimal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when we're out on the groups, we do it for free. I mean, technically, there's supposed to be a charge, but we go out, and provide it. But yeah, you could have a copy of your deed. It's not essential. I urge people, use the registry records to make sure when you pay off your mortgages that the discharge is recorded.
Correct.
But it's good to have a copy of your deed. But if you don't, the real estate professionals that are going to be involved in the sale of your house, they'll look it up. They'll go to the registry either virtually or in person, and you'll be fine. But it's good to have a deed. And one of the scams, is people would solicit these people. I know Hank Philippi Ryan came to Norfolk County Registry of Deeds to do a TV show on it. Don't be paying anywhere from $83 to over $100 for a certified copy of your deed or a copy of your deed. Some places don't even certify it for you, when you can come to the registry for $1 or $2, or catch us on one of our community outreach days to the senior centers or the town halls, and you can get it for free.
Let's end this program with the project that you and I are actually working on, and I used your historical photos that have been actually not only posted to your website, but the photos themselves are actually up on display throughout the registry. I took that as a springboard to do this new project. Talk a little bit about that, and then we will show the first episode in the series.
Well, it's great. You know, I love history, and it's great. The registry, there's plenty of history there. So a few years back, we did a History Comes Alive project. And what we did is a lot of the documents at the registry were handwritten. And even though I went to, you know, St. Catherine's and, you know, I know cursive and can read cursive, some of this younger generation can't. We started transcribing all those documents to make it more readable. The legal document is still the written document, but now if you go online, if you want to look at Book 1, Page 1, you can see the handwritten document from Foxborough that was recorded. You hit another button, the transcribed version. Why was that important? Well, it started making history comes alive. You could start reading the documents. You know, there's 4 presidents born in Norfolk County. There's the deed from John Adams to John Quincy Adams. It was hard to read it. Now it's transcribed. And David McCulloch, you know, who was a noted author, recently passed away, actually wrote and commended the registry for doing it. Why do I bring that up? Well, it was the springboard for these other projects, the notable land records. So the pictures, and again, I got to thank you, Mark Crosby. You're creative. You're award winner on Access Television. You're a big proponent of Access Television, and all the people here, you know, at Quincy Access Television that do a great job. You know, bringing it into the communities. You came up with an idea looking at the books. So what we're doing, and what we did, at least it started because my hometown was 150th anniversary of their birth. They broke away from Dedham. They let me go to Dedham, but I get thrown out every year, every night, and go back to my hometown. In 1872 it started. Well, all across in these books, because of the documents, we tied the documents into landmarks, interesting places, interesting people. And I want to commend you because, you know, prior to the holidays, you wanted to do something that tied in, and you're going to do it for all 28 communities, but Norwood's 150th, we went to the town hall. Well, it's great. The Norwood Town Hall, it was really a dedication to celebrate the end and memorialize the end of World War I. And it took them 10 years to build, and they had a big dedication 10 years after 1918 when the war ended. 10,000 people were at Norwood Center. Well, if you go by Norwood, it looks like a church. And in that church, I call it a church, it really isn't. It's like you're in a church. The hall in there, they have stained glass window. They have the town seal. And we were very fortunate. There was a person from Norwood, Lee Leach, who plays, there's only like 9 of them, you know, very limited. You can play the bells, and they got to hit them with the fists. And they're playing notes with their feet. And you did a great, you made history come alive. That here's a place people go by every day. And the beauty of the music that comes out, and you made it come alive.
Well, thank you so much. And we'll end actually showing that piece and look forward to more sites throughout Norfolk County in the upcoming months. I want to thank you for joining me here today and certainly welcome you back as well.
Great, thanks. And thank you all for watching.
I'll roll credits over camera 2, Mark, to let you know.
The Norwood Memorial Municipal Building, or Norwood Town Hall, is a historic building located at the center of town at 566 Washington Street. In 1926, town meeting members voted in an appropriation to construct this building as a memorial to Norwood residents who had served in World War I. The new Gothic cathedral-like building was built in 1927 and 1928 and is made of Weymouth-seamed face granite. The November 11th, 1928 dedication ceremony, held on the 10th anniversary of the end of World War I, was attended by over 10,000 people. Visitors often mistake the Norwood Town Hall for a church. A stained glass window in the Norwood Town Hall depicts the town seal. The Town Hall building includes a 50-bell carillon tower housing the Walter F. Tilton Memorial Carillon, one of the 9 carillons in Massachusetts and the 7th largest in the United States of America. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1996.